Hello, hello. Welcome back, guys, to number 3 of Z2X. I am with my mother here
Hello.
today, as you can hear. And we have an interesting topic to talk about today. But first of all, as you guys probably have seen, Discord ruined their UI again.
What do
it's
they do now?
it looks horrendous. Like I'm gonna find just a screenshot that someone. I'll put it up on screen too. The way that they changed it. So I don't think you have updated yet, but they changed
The
it to look
mobile UI or the
the
computer
PC
UI?
UI to look like this. This is
Oh,
someone that did posted an example screenshot where it looks like that, and it's really like
oh,
weird.
I think mine looks like that too. It's
Oh,
weird.
yeah,
I'm
it's
not
like
sure what it.
all
Mhm.
everything's big. The thing at the top, there's like no clear distinction between anything,
Yeah,
and
I was
it's
like, well, I don't
awful.
have a lot of games like you do or people.
Yeah,
I just have a few. So mine doesn't look like that because I don't have it.
yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but like when you have a lot of stuff going on, and the icons are like for me so tiny,
Yeah.
um, and it's
Uh-huh.
just yeah, it's just awful. I'm like,
Well, the icons have kind of always been tiny. I thought that's
yeah.
just
You can change their
my old
size,
lady
but yeah,
eyes. Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah. My
Uh,
old lady eyes, I'm always like, what does that say?
what is it? But yeah,
What is
like
that?
you know
Get off my lawn.
the user the graphic designers have to keep their job somehow, so they make unnecessary changes. And
Yeah.
speaking of unnecessary things, the main topic,
All right. Yeah, let's
Assassin's
do it.
Creed Shadows by Ubisoft. Um,
So, can I
yeah,
just say that from even my generation, Assassin's Creed or what are those kind of
yeah,
games, have been always been popular.
yeah. They came out
You
early
know what I
two
mean?
thousands, so you were
Yeah.
like
hmm
20 something, 30 at the time. 20.
30.
Yeah,
No, I was in my what early 2000s. I was at least almost hitting
yeah.
30,
Oh, it was '07. So yeah, like yeah, that
35.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like they've been like pretty popular for a while though because they really made the genre of, aside from Splinter Cell, they are kind of the reason that stealth games are kind of big, and
Yeah.
parkour, mainly
Uh-huh.
parkour of like jumping into hay bales.
Yeah, and
um
guys love that stuff. It's a guy's kind of games,
yeah,
but
it
not anymore.
yeah. um like
So,
I'll send you, like, I mean, this is super classic right here, like
yeah,
the
yeah,
the hay bale, and it's like alternate history is super exaggerated. But the new Assassin's Creed, as you guys have probably seen, Assassin's Creed Shadows, has gotten into a little controversy here. The last few Assassin's Creeds haven't been good, frankly. They've been too RPG-y, like many of Ubisoft's new games that come out.
yeah. Is
Were
it Ubisoft isn't getting very good? Like their stocks and everything
Oh
are
no,
down.
horrible, horrible. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna get I'm gonna
yeah.
get further into that, but they've been dropping for a
Okay.
bit now because they've had multiple failures.
Yeah. Well,
And they have this obsession recently with turning every game into like an RPG. Like they did it with some of the new Far Cry games. They and like even Assassin's Creed, the last few ones have been like less action adventure and more like, oh, let's put numbers on everything and make it
oh
like
yeah,
health bar, giant health bars above every enemy instead of just seeing how damaged they look and stuff like that.
yeah.
Um, and so what ended up like kind of happening, like Valhalla was a bloated mess. Odyssey, I've talked to some friends and they've said Odyssey was pretty good. It was set in I think Greece or Egypt, I forget. I think a
Uh-huh.
mix.
Uh-huh.
But the new one is set in Japan. We're all the
Ooh,
way over east, and
yeah.
people have wanted this forever. You've got ninjas, you've
Yeah.
got like samurai, and those are
Yeah.
like
Everybody
ninjas are
loves that.
some of the biggest assassins. A lot of time when people think of assassins, they think of a ninja, and this is the first time. So the two characters they choose, um, uh, like, so you have this one chick, um, which is she's like, I'll just send you this GIF right here. I think it's the best way to show it. Is the two characters, because they let you choose who you want to play as in different parts of the game.
So is
Is
that one and the back one?
Yeah, so it is
Chunky chick.
Yasuke, the Black Samurai, and the chick, I forgot her name. She's a shinobi. Shinobi chick, Assassin's Creed Shadows. So yeah, so we have yeah, the shinobi Naoi.
Okay, can I ask you? So the one that's flying over that other one
Yeah.
is one of the characters,
Yeah,
but the one that they're
both of them are
both of
characters.
them. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Well, why is that other one so chunky? I mean, come
Because
on, Japanese aren't chunky.
well, he's meant to be large and imposing, which I understand. You know, you have the samurai, right?
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and his character, in theory, it's interesting,
Uh huh.
but like, because the two different play styles is you have sneaky and then you have like action, right? Where it's like
Okay,
you
gotcha.
choose who to
You
play
have a
as.
stealth, and then you have a fighter.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Um, and in theory, that's fine, fine, and you get to choose who you like want to play as at different parts in the story.
Yeah.
And then they have a canon mode, which lets you like it just chooses you play this guy, you play that during these segments of the game. But the thing is, I mean, the main thing that you can immediately notice that's drawn controversy is Yasuke, the samurai, which Yasuke, this is drama ranging from a few months back, is a debated historical figure, very much debated. Um, and I mean, you can when I'm all I'm saying is when I think of Japan, I don't think of a black samurai first. That is not the first thing I think of.
No, they're just pulling. Is it? But there is there a history of this of a black samurai? Tell me that.
So
Is there?
yeah, so great question. Yasuke effectively was the real story. Actually, yeah, let's start with the story that everyone tells you. Yasuke, the fake story, effectively was a this black samurai came over and was this sort of warrior noble, and I mean that's basically the story right there is that he came over
Uh-huh.
from I think funny enough Mozambique from what I remember. Um, and however, in reality, the truth of it is that Yasuke was came over to Japan. You know,
Uh-huh.
they're like in Japanese people, especially during that time, they're like it was during the time too where everything was closed down. There wasn't people going. You know, trade was off.
Where they were more isolated.
Very they're
Yes.
isolationist. So like if you were in Japan, you're like this black guy. You're like because he's also was tall. You're like whoa, whoa, this
Yeah.
is crazy. However, the one of he was more like I guess the equivalent of a butler or servant to a higher up samurai or shogun himself.
Uh-huh.
Yasuke did have a sword, you could say
Uh-huh.
that, but effectively he was more, and it's kind of sad to say in a way, he was more of a showpiece or almost like a not quite as disrespectful as a jester, but like that
He was
where
like he was a servant.
yeah, cause and if yeah
In those days, that's sad. That's how it was though
I
in
mean,
those
he
days,
was treated probably better than some, but he was mostly a commodity because, like, the noble
Like a
shogun
like
could, yeah,
like a gesture, a little person would be a gesture. Is that what you're
yeah,
talking about?
effectively, or like, how in the states some people like are like, oh, I have like tigers or whatever. They're like, oh, here's my
But then
like,
you're thinking he's an animal.
no, not that at all. Not that at
Okay, well,
all.
that was
Yeah,
almost the description
no.
you just gave, babe. So I'm checking up on you.
Yeah, no,
But
but
I don't think that's what you mean.
no, but they would be like, oh, it's so exotic. That's what I'm getting at is that they
Well, I'm thinking it sounds more like in the olden days when the little people were the gestures
yeah,
and
no.
whatever. They held them to regards, but they were not on equal
No,
level.
they were not on equal level, and it was a considered a effectively a exotic commodity where you're like, this is different,
Oh, yeah,
this is
yeah, I
bizarre,
gotcha.
this is not. But
Yeah,
and then
I
um
understand what you mean by
and
show. Okay, gotcha.
Yasuke got in, and that's why I use the tiger example because
Uh-huh.
tigers are like cool, right? Like people are like, yeah, that's awesome.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, here at least. And so but then the a story from what I remember is that he got into one fight, lost, and effectively it's kind of debated. He either ran away or died.
Oh, yeah.
He only ever fought once.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And then never to be heard again.
yeah,
You're saying.
effectively never to be heard of again. Um, And but the whole thing of what got hyped up around him is that basically a global marketing agency run by some Japanese people, mostly kind of the globalist type, and some Americans hyped up the story to sell to Westerners. That's effectively what
Uh-huh.
it was. They exaggerated every part of the story, and we're like, yeah, this is a real guy. And it's I'm not debating. He is a real guy, but he isn't like this
He's
guy.
not a samurai. I got you. Got.
He's not.
He's a real person. He was the butler for a samurai, but he himself was not considered a samurai.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes, exactly. That is entirely
Okay.
correct.
All right.
And so that kind of leads into the first drama was they added and people were like, hey, this isn't really historically accurate. I mean, this guy wasn't even like he might have been around during this time, but he had no importance in the history of any of this stuff. And to be fair, Assassin's Creed has been they've bended history a bit. Like for example, one of the final bosses in the old one is versus the Pope, which has a giant he has a giant cross that's shooting like holy
Oh my
beams of light at
God.
you, right? That's like
Yeah. Yeah.
very exaggerated.
Yeah.
um
So it's not like they're not history
yeah.
buffs, but yeah. Okay. Let's go
However,
for it.
however, the issue was that Ubisoft tried claiming that actually no, Yasuke, all the stuff about Yasuke is true, and if you disagree, you're racist, and this is entirely
Oh,
historically accurate.
how did the Japanese feel about that?
The Japanese did not like that at all because a lot of Japanese people were like, "I this is about my culture, my like
Yeah.
people, my land. I want something about my people. This is not about my people, really."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can understand that perspective. I mean, come on, don't make up shit. Nobody likes it when you can do a fictional character. Everybody's fine with that. But when you start making it like it's supposed to be a real person, when everybody's like, it's not. I
Yeah,
mean, they were real, but not the way that you're defining them. So you're playing with history, and if you're playing with someone else's history, who know their own history, then that's not going to end well.
yeah, and like the thing is you could like the Japanese don't mind that too if you're honest. Like a really like a series that honestly was pretty popular in Japan or at least somewhat. It was originally like late 90s early 2000s was this series called Afro Samurai. It was
Uh
this
huh.
black guy with a humongous afro was the main character of it.
Uh
Um
huh.
and that was actually like decently there you go.
Received.
Yeah, it was well received. And people liked it. People liked the character.
Oh
I think.
yeah, I actually remember this. I actually remember this. That's so funny.
Yeah. Also,
Go
because
ahead.
because the main guy in the English dub was voiced acted by Samuel L. Jackson
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
Um, and that it was well received. It was made by Japanese people. Like, and that's the thing too. It was made by Japanese people.
Uh huh.
Um, so like that kind of set people off and put people on a bad thing, and they're like, okay, this is like really weird. Um, but fine, we'll like it's getting closer to the release date, and more stuff comes out about the game. The first thing is one
You're talking about Assassin's
Assassin's
Creed
Creed, yeah,
now.
Assassin's
Okay.
Creed.
Okay.
One
I'm like,
Ubisoft
what are we talking
stocks,
about now? Uh huh.
Ubisoft stocks are starting to drop off a cliff.
Yeah.
This is happening in the background. They're going lower and lower. The like if you guys know about shorting stocks, right? Like GameStop. The only company I would feel safe with right now shorting the stocks of would be Ubisoft. They had rumors that Tencent was going to buy them, and their stocks temporarily rose a little bit. That's how little
Oh,
faith they have.
did they? But the rumor was not true.
They
So
will.
they were trying to plant so that their stocks would go
Well,
back up.
it
Maybe they're
was
trying to sell it.
that Tencent was looking into it, but I don't think anything.
Uh
There's
huh.
any been any
Yeah.
development since then. Um,
Gotcha. But sometimes I think companies drum up a lot of uh, like I don't know what like just
PR.
pretending that someone's PR that someone's looking into them when in truth nobody is,
Yeah,
but they want to try to sell it eventually so that it ups their stock prices so they can sell. It's
yeah.
just what happens a lot of times. Go ahead, go on. I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt
no,
you.
no worries. That's. I'm pretty sure I just found it. I remember it was. Um, yes, it was this right here. I think it was Shrekky or Shrekeli. I remember talking about this at one point. No, yeah, Enron. It was Enron where they like inflated their company massively, like to a huge
Yeah.
degree, and then
Uh-huh.
everything came
Yeah.
down. A lot of companies do that. That's the
Yeah.
stock market for you, and I feel like Ubisoft was trying to bring their stuff back up.
Yeah.
because it's not going well. And if we look at Ubisoft stocks currently, they are a publicly traded company. Oh my god. So Ubisoft stocks currently, if we look at a between in this in the last 5 years, they've gone down. So 5 years, by the way, remember that's since 2020. But that's the time
Yeah.
period we're looking at this point. Weird
Uh-huh.
to think that we're not talking about 2016 anymore. That's roughly when like Far Cry 5 released.
Yeah.
Their stock dropped from it was originally in 2021 was $20 per share.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, that is really good. It is now currently as of 1 month ago it was or 6 months ago it was $4.
Uh-huh. Oh wow.
And then currently, as of today, it went down another 4% and is now
Ooh,
$2.79.
ouch. I guess if you ever wanted to buy it now would be the time, but
I,
yeah,
I,
still.
well, that's how I was saying. Short the company, don't buy. Short,
Yeah.
you know how shorting works.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, this is the only company I feel like you could feel confident in doing something like that because they're constantly falling.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my God. So tell me, I heard that you were saying that there was other drama going with Ubisoft and everything too that's on social media.
Yes. Oh my God. There's multiple. We can go through them. This topic is almost I feel like bigger than I remember it being because there's so much build up to it and a little bit of backstory. To start off, first of all, um, we have the first one that I remember people drumming up was aside from that. There's this one guy Grums. He's a game developer. He used to work on World of Warcraft, and people
Uh-huh.
were like he was going pretty hard against the game and the classic Twitter crowd were like
Yeah.
basically running amok on him. But he's
Uh-huh.
he's like, I don't think this is in the February 21st. I mean, he went over it right here, and I think this is roughly accurate. Oh my god, yeah, like um, da, 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 da. Oh yeah, oh my god, I forgot about that. Is they also basically effectively paid or promoted some Wikipedia articles and Encyclopedia
Oh, to
Britannica to
twist
alter some of
the
the entries
history.
in promotion of Yasuke as a character.
Oh, they're
And
trying to mess with that.
yeah,
They're
and
gonna get caught whenever they do stupid stuff like
they
that.
they
But go
they,
ahead.
they did. They marketed like, oh, this game's gonna be super respectful towards Japanese people. Meanwhile, confusing Chinese and Japanese elements at part points. In how the certain seasons go. For
Yeah, well,
example,
they
in the game,
that's where you can't culturally appropriate.
yeah, they had in this game that's supposed to be
Restrain.
realistic. They had like watermelon growing in like a time that it was not supposed to, in a period of time where it would never exist there.
Okay, can I ask why do they have watermelon with a black character?
Yeah, that's so bad. I feel like you're
I
like, wow,
know,
come
that's
on,
what
guys.
I'm saying. I mean, come on.
Yeah, come
Anyway,
on.
go on.
Yeah,
What is the other social media drama?
the social media drama, the first one that I remember is not even in regards to the game because the game mechanics themselves I can get to. That it's a
Yeah.
huge thing. Is I saw this one with it was this so do you know what the concept of what like VTubers are?
The what?
VTubers. Have you heard of the concept?
You've kind of explained it to me
Yeah.
of people who like they're kind of it's kind of like they do their like a podcast type thing, but they use an animated character like to do a storytelling or something like that.
Not exactly. That's like animated storytelling. So imagine it's like um you have your webcam connected to this program which is then like projecting your like an avatar of your
Image.
face like right here this little thing like someone's playing a game and they have this little avatar in the bottom right that's like of
Okay.
like a character and
That's what I was thinking.
so
It's
they
like
yeah
it's not you, it's somebody else
yeah and while they play
or
like
something else.
games or something
Yeah,
like that and
yeah,
stream it's so then people can stay anonymous and have a little persona or cool character while like
yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
playing all that stuff. So this VTuber, which are usually virtual YouTuber, a lot of them are Japanese, agreed to do a sponsor for Assassin's Creed Shadows early before the game released. It released on the
Uh
20th,
huh.
which I'll
Uh
get
huh.
into that too. She agrees, and like So I'll put up the screenshots, but here's some of them right here too. She agrees, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this is super exciting." Well, here's the thing: is that immediately about a few like 30 minutes after it starts, she gets banned from Twitch on
Why?
behalf of Ubisoft because Ubisoft. It was a complaint from Ubisoft that got her banned because she quote streamed it at the wrong time.
Oh my
However,
gosh.
turns out it was Ubisoft's mistake and they misread the time but blamed it her for it anyways. So like she was like, "Oh, I want to stream at
No.
7 a.m. EST because Japanese, it's later in the
Yeah.
day." And
Yeah.
they thought they said 7 p.m.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
nuked her channel. She was banned for 8 hours before
Oh,
she was unbanned.
what assholes. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just real incompetence on
Yeah,
their
and
part.
it's
Come
like
on.
you come to
And
me.
for one, okay, just so you know, I find that incompetence on many levels. Can I start with the
Yeah.
first? They asked her to do this live stream. And because even though they thought she did it at a different time, why in the hell would they have her banned?
Why not
I mean,
just
that right
message
there.
her and be like, "Hey, you're
Why
streaming it
not just
early.
go,
Stop."
or just say, oh, try to catch up with her but by social media. Hey, guess who's streaming now? Get on her thing right now. Make it like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Come on,
Even if
people.
it's early or whatever,
Just
right?
go with it.
Yeah,
They gave her permission. Go with it.
it's the
And
same
then,
day, but
but
just
how
slightly
rude.
early. Yeah,
But
like
how rude and how mean that means they're not loyal one at all to have her banned. Banned for a simple thing like that. If it was her mistake. But now that we know that it was their mistake and them being just jackasses, I mean, sounds like they're just jackasses all the way through, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. Like it's straight up like you come to me, you ask me to stream Assassin's Creed Shadows, and then you ban me.
Yeah. That
uh,
that didn't sound Italian. That sounded like you were trying to be, I don't know, something else. But
in
it didn't go
between,
the way you thought it. Yeah.
you want me to be like, "Mamma mia."
Mamma mia, you come to me. You wanted me to do
I
this,
have
and
got the
now you say
pasta.
no. Yeah, I know.
Um, but anyways, this game right here. Let's focus on some of the game aspects of it too, because I think this is a good outline, and then we'll hit the final
Okay.
entourage with
The
like
final drama.
the final drama, the most recent
Yeah.
one. So this game too just sucks. They have so many bloated features, stuff like this. The writing is awful. Um, and
But
like
Ubisoft has had those problems recently
oh
anyway.
yeah,
They,
100%.
yeah,
Ubisoft doesn't know how to innovate. It's like the
yeah. I
last
think,
good game they made, in my opinion, was probably gonna have to say Far Cry New Dawn, and that game
yeah.
wasn't like it had some issues of it. Far Cry 5 was the last excellent game they made, and
Uh
that
huh.
was like 2019 or 2018 or
Yeah. I
something.
was gonna say I've heard a bunch of people talk like that. But go ahead.
Because uh, because they just keep repeating. They're like, okay, this works. Like even Far Cry 6
Yeah.
kind of flopped, even though they had Giancarlo Esposito like as the main antagonist. Because just like they're like, oh my god, this works. Let's do it 1,000 times until we're
Oh
like,
yeah. And then everybody gets tired of it
then
because
they
they're like,
get
we're done
bored
with
of it.
that.
You're like, I'm just playing the
Yeah.
same game but with a different color palette.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
um,
Yep.
so this game, uh, had that's the first thing is that it's not really hugely innovative. It has Marvel level writing where like there's some lines too even where like Yasuke jumps into the hay and he's like, "Oh, oh, I'm not good at that." Like stuff like that. The classic Assassin's Creed
Easy.
thing.
Yeah. Uh huh.
And he and like the mechanics like the it seems really clunky. I don't know, you guys can tell me too, but the gameplay just seems really clunky. And they even have a Ubisoft even owns a fighting game too, sort of, that's called For Honor, which
Uh
has
huh.
some cool mechanics. It feels like a really dumbed down version of that.
Oh, that's
Uh,
sad. Go
and
ahead.
you're gonna see it later. So and then in terms of the story, oh my god, the romances in it are like they've got, of course, gay romances, of course, even if it's not accurate at the time. And
Yeah.
Yasuke, I found this too, and I confirmed it. This is from at Learning the Law. and they have some screenshots and videos and stuff. There says Yasuke actually has a gay romance in Assassin's Creed Shadows with a character named Ibuki who identifies as non-binary. After some
Oh,
flirting, they kiss each
oh,
other. And this screenshot of Yasuke here is so funny to me. Like it's
oh my
indicative of
god.
everything that is I feel like wrong with this.
Oh my god,
That
that
right
is
there,
bad.
that's
I mean,
that's
there's
gonna be the
so many
thumbnail
bad
right there.
elements of that. There's so many bad elements of that image and everything. Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one of the romances you can have too is with this. Okay, and I'm gonna clarify. I'm not the expert at Japanese like history, but as far as I'm aware of, it's like the daughter of an emperor who is known as like a symbol of purity and innocence and like all this stuff. And as Yasuke, that's like the straight romance in the game, which is like to a lot of Japanese people, it set them off because it's like it feels like almost like a subversion of this like really delicate culture. It's like it's even though it's not religious, it's the equivalent of like Mother Mary, right? Where
Yeah, I know what you're
you're like
talking about.
that symbol of innocence.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And you have that going on, like all that shit going on, and
I hate
people,
those side things. Those were so dumb. It's
yeah,
like just do the game already. Who cares? I mean, is it do we do that nowadays? Is that how games are that you have this relationship? I mean, it's been a long time obviously since I've ever
yeah.
done any of these things, but it just seems kind of stupid.
Yeah, and then the story is so dumb too. The second to final boss, or the final boss for Hattori, which is the shinobi,
Uh-huh.
is this one like this big guy, and she beats the ever loving hell out of him, and then is like, "Revenge is bad. I'm not gonna kill you," and then like walks away. It's like,
Because it's a woman, he's not going to hurt a woman. Is that what
no,
it
no, no, no,
is?
no. She beats the shit out of him, and then like just walks away. Sort of like the
Oh,
Last of Us.
because
Even though
she's
he did
better than him.
Yeah, even though he did horrible things. He was like this
Uh-huh.
warmonger, horrible person in the story. And they're like, actually, I'm not.
I'm so much better than you.
I'm so much better. It's like
I don't even need to kill you
revenge is
because
let
I want
bad.
my revenge.
Yeah, because
Because
also,
well, your
he,
revenge is killing them. That's what you're
yeah,
supposed to do.
because from what I know of the story, he killed her father also, like her family.
Oh my
So
god.
it's like The Last of Us 2, where it's like at the end of the game, like the whole story is about revenge, and they just stop. They're
Uh-huh.
like at the very end, they're like, "I'm not gonna strangle you to death,"
Oh my god.
and it's like,
That's so
why
dumb.
even? Like,
Yeah, that
it,
is dumb. I'm sorry, but that is really dumb because they're trying to be this better person. But guess what? You're playing a game that's putting off a lot of steam. That's a letdown.
yeah, exactly. And there's stories that
I'm just
were
saying it's a letdown.
there's stories where like revenge is bad, and they can
Yeah.
show that like the like Red Dead Redemption is a game where it's like revenge is bad and it leads people nowhere. But the thing is, everyone in that game, it's kind of builds it up. Everyone in that game suffers because of it, and
Yeah.
but the guys that still do bad end up dying in the end because of their failures. They aren't just left alive. Like John doesn't just leave like the main villain's just alive. He's like, actually, it was
Actually,
okay. You killed my dad.
I'm gonna let you live because I am better, and that I know because of me being still alive and around, you're not gonna be bad again. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
come
yeah,
on.
no, that's literally The Last of Us too. Mom, you
Yeah.
just wrote The Last of Us too, and apparently this game too.
Well, I have
Um,
not watched The Last of Us
yeah.
or played that game, but
Hmm.
I don't even know anything about it. I
Yeah.
mean, I kind of know of it, but not anything
How?
about it.
Yeah. Then we can get into aside from some glitches in the game too that are horrible, like the game if you go prone just breaks the entire. I'll put a clip on screen where it just breaks the AI and they literally can't hit you if you're just crouched on the ground.
Pro isn't pro like more expensive to play it that way?
Pro. Oh,
Or
prone. No, prone.
oh,
Like if you're
okay,
on the
okay,
ground. However,
okay.
you are that is a good point to bring up though. This game by the way costs $70. If
Ew.
$70, and if you want, it's loaded with microtransactions, and if you want to buy the deluxe edition, it is $90. And if
Jesus.
you want to get the premium starter pack, that's an additional $34. So in total, the most expensive version of the game is $125.
See, I think that's the wrong with the gaming industry anymore. It costs them way too much to make it, which is really stupid because come on, some of the best games were made indie.
Yeah.
Two, takes way too freaking long anymore to make it too. I'm like, come up with a game thing and just do it. Come up with your storyline
Hmm.
and do it. And three, they're charging way too much.
Oh, 100%.
Because
People
let's
are
face it,
less willing to
kids
pay for
wanted
this
to
shit.
play this, and kids can't play with it. They're not going to get $100 from their parents to get a game.
Yeah, and the thing is, that leads into kind of Ubisoft Plus, the subscription service that they have. It's like $10 a
Uh-huh.
month, but that is both misleading in some regards. I'll talk about in a little bit here. However, first off, you can watch this video right here. This is the final boss of Assassin's Creed Shadows. It is. You can see the gameplay here, and I'll put it up on screen. This game is um, so this game's about Japan and the final the other guy I talked about was the penultimate boss. The ultimate boss is you are a black samurai facing against a Portuguese Portuguese trader, because
Uh-huh.
that's some plot in the story. So it's like meanwhile you have this chanting music that's like this hip hop that's in Somali, effectively this chanting hip hop in Somali as the music. You can watch it there. I sent it to you. And this it's like what the heck, what is this? It's like this game could have been set in had the same story if you set it in in Portugal. I feel like it would make more sense too.
Yeah,
Have the main character be from Morocco or something. I don't know, like
that's crazy.
and also the lyrics too are basically translated as slaughter them all, slaughter them, which is the specific word of that. It's in Somali too, which he's
Okay,
Mozambique,
that's
right?
weird. Yeah.
Which
So
also,
you're telling me there's nothing Japanese about this story, but it's in Japan.
yeah, it's in Japan. It's like
Okay,
it,
got you.
it,
You're like,
it
it's in Japan though. Come on,
yeah,
people. It's in Japan.
yeah, it's like if a new Breaking Bad show came out. They're like, we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they recorded the entire thing in Moscow and just put an orange filter over it. It's like guys, I feel like you're lying to me.
Just a little. It doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah, and aside from all of these issues, this game, um, that right here led to some controversy too with the release of it. So there's two, this is the game itself, the drum around it. One, they in promotion to the game put out some boba tea that they're like, this is the Assassin's Creed boba tea, legit Japanese stuff. Boba is a Taiwanese invention. It is a
See,
Taiwanese
and you,
drink.
you told me that, and I thought boba tea was actually like Korean,
Yeah, it's
or Vietnamese, something like that. I never ever thought it was Japanese.
no, it's not
Um,
Japanese, and they're trying to be like, we're gonna sell this to the Japanese people. Secondly, this game dropped as a um it was supposed to drop on in February 22nd, and then instead it dropped
uh-huh.
March 20th. Really bad choice of day, because March 20th is the Remembrance Day for the Tokyo subway sarin attack, which injured 1,100 people and caused 14 deaths, which was led by Shoko Ashara, and basically this cult, the
A
the
cult
cult
leader.
movement of I Am Shinriko. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it killed 14 people. 14 people died of this
Wow.
bioweapon attack,
It'd
and
be like it'd be like dropping something like that on 9/11.
yeah, yeah, it's like it would literally be like, guys, we're releasing Flight Simulator 2024.
Oh
It's
yeah,
on nine
exactly.
11.
I got you. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's very
Just kind of
disrespectful.
adding insult to injury. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
that's
Japanese
yeah.
culture is very much so based on respect and following traditional respects, no matter even though there's new blood and new ways of doing things, they still have that outline tradition of respect, and it's shown. You have to respect their
Yeah,
culture, respect their people.
yeah, like you have to keep up that respect.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing too with respect, is that even so, lots of the gameplay in the game, one of the first gameplays was Yasuke basically killing random people in Japanese people around town, which I'm like, wow, that's not good
Oh,
optics. And
no,
destroying a
and the
shrine.
fact that yeah, and right now, like you said, they opened it up on the day that there was a massacre. So doing that and that storyline opening up,
Yeah,
you
so
probably
here's
didn't do well.
the Japan parliamentary discussion of Assassin's Creed.
Oh my god.
Hiroyuki
We're
Kata.
talking about it in their parliament. Go ahead.
Yeah, Hiroyuki Kata reviewed early game footage of Assassin's Creed Shadows and raised concerns about a shrine altar being destroyed in the game, a shrine from his home district appearing without permission to use its name. In response, Vice
Oh
Minister of
yeah.
Economy, Trade, and Industry Oguchi stated that unauthorized use of real-world locations is unacceptable.
Well,
Kata,
it's very, yeah, it's their tradition. You're not supposed to do that. Like, even if you and I say we went into one of their shrines, we have to fulfill all the obligations before you go in it. You bow, you do your the bell thing. I don't know all of the traditions for it because it's
yeah,
been years since I studied it. You take off your shoes, you have to put on their sandals that they had there, or bring your sandals, or just wear your
yeah,
socks. I mean, it's sacred. For the love of God, it's sacred, you know?
yeah, and like, and then Kata. So in response, Vice Ministry, the blah blah is unacceptable. Kata then pointed out the risk of the game encouraging real world vandalism, noting that some tourists have climbed Shrine Toji gates and committed graffiti, or Torii gates and
Oh
committed
yeah,
graffiti. This kind of
because they
cultural
have had
disrespect
that.
is unacceptable. The Prime Minister
Yep.
of Ishiba responded, graffiti on shrines is absolutely unacceptable. Japan will not remain silent on such issues. Showing respect for local culture should be common sense.
Yeah. They're very, and yeah, graffiti is a no-no there. It's filthy. It's dirty, you know. Some people here call it art. I know you like it. I personally do not.
Well, it
It just
depends
seems
the type of
dirty.
graffiti. Graffiti is fine usually, in my opinion. If it's like, oh, here, if you are actually an artist and practicing your work, and you're like, and not like a gang that's like, oh, I'm putting my gang sign here, and you're
Or
like,
they
I'm gonna do
tag
this
it.
on an
Yeah.
abandoned like thing left no, in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, you're like, that's fine, right? You're like, that's something that's already kind of gross looking or decrepit. Go for it. If you want to do it in public, ask permission from an owner, and a lot of owners would love to have some cool art on the side of their wall.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
uh,
Anyway, go on. What did the Japanese more that they
yeah,
have
so
to
so
say?
so so that's what they said is that they're like this is unacceptable. We have to like because he went on a Hiroyaku Kata went on Japanese Diet, which is like a show to talk about this.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And and I mean these are Japanese government officials that are
I was
like
just gonna say, is it like any like a senator here?
yeah, it would be like
Like a
senators. And here's the thing,
yeah,
Prime Minister Ishiba also
prime
talked
minister.
about it.
That's like the president.
And
That's
Prime
like the
Minister
president of
Ishiba
Japan.
is the Japanese politician serving as Prime Minister of Japan and the President of the Liberal Democratic Party since 2024. He is
Yeah,
the literal
the higher up. Yeah, that's all
he
prime
yeah,
ministers
he
are.
yeah, I mean Prime Minister. He is the president that's like because they discuss this because the Vice Minister of Economy, they're like, yeah, this is
Mhm.
unacceptable and this is reaching towards cultural decay.
Yeah.
So then that then leads us into so you have that stuff. I'm not even getting started on the voice acting, how horrible it is.
Yeah, let's just go into the other stuff.
Yeah, the sales of this game are atrocious. Horrible. So
Well, I'm sorry, it's expensive.
this game
Just so
cost
we would.
$350 million to make.
Again, what did I just say about how it costs so much to make things? That's ridiculous. That's more than a motion picture.
Yeah,
It's stupid.
no, you're 100% right. That it's a ridiculous like price for something like that. Um and then so you like spend $350 million. Additionally, the delay cost them an additional $30 million. So we're at 380 million. And from what I've seen
Oh
so far,
God.
so far, and what I've heard into originally they thought it was 100, but because of the extra advertising in such things as the Xbox store, makes me believe that it's $150 million in advertising, which puts this game at about $530 million in cost.
Oh my God.
Um, $530 million, by the way. This game sells for $70 on average, which means that you have to sell in total. Um, let's see here. 7,572,657 um, copies over basically like 7.57 million copies to break even to
Well,
to
how much does it cost to copy the? Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I guess you're
with
right.
the $70. But that's
Yeah.
not accounting for here's some other facts about it too. The bundle it bundled the game with high demand products like Intel CPUs. Assassin's Creed Shadows is free to play with Ubisoft Plus, off and on free giveaway of free game keys on their social media accounts. Giveaway free game keys to YouTubers as part of sponsored giveaways. Review codes for journalists. Um, and that's how, because they've been saying, they're like, oh, we reached 2 million players. We reached 2 million players. You didn't say 2 million, like, oh, 2 million copies. I didn't hear 2 million copies. I heard 2 million players. That's
Uh-huh.
different. So realistically, it's more so if you want to average tons of people playing on Ubisoft Plus or Intel or whatever, it's probably more like 40, right?
Uh-huh.
Which means they have to get like even more people playing this game per person needs to have like $40 per spend per person on average for like
Yeah.
15 million
If
or
they
something.
dropped the prices, they probably would, but they're always so stubborn they won't do it.
Well, because the game costs so much, it would have to, in their audience is too small to be able to sell it effectively. So this
Well, that's
game,
what I'm saying. They
yeah,
have to drop the prices. They would have
we're
to have
going
it
towards a
have
gaming collapse right here. I feel like,
yeah. Yeah.
and
It's true.
like, so right here, all of those things kind of build up into this huge, mungus like, um, also, by the way, Ubisoft, same people that released another huge failure, Skull and Bones, which basically cost $800 million to make, effectively first quadruple A game. That's right
Yeah.
off of the coattails of that game's failure. Um,
Yeah.
this game. So people then eventually reach the credits of this game. After all of those, guess how long the credits are. Here's a little
Well,
guess, guys. Put you can guess
I'd have to
too.
guess because there's so many people that they probably have to credit because that's the kind of people that Ubisoft is. There's probably 10 minutes of credits, if I had to guess.
10 minutes, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not gonna believe this. 2 hours and 8 minutes of credits. So if I
On
left
a
the game,
is
yeah,
on a
like
freaking
you
game.
guys, I'm gonna put this in the video actually in the top right of the screen. Everyone's gonna be confused until then. There's gonna be a little video playing of the credits, and then you guys finally know what that is. The entire time during this podcast is gonna be playing the credits in one of the corners, and
Oh my
that'll
god.
that maybe even I'll put on 2 or 3 times speed. If I put it on 3 times speed, I probably wouldn't even get it fully done. That it
Oh my god.
and
That
then
is
you
so
realize
insane.
how much why these things cost so much money now. And then
Oh my god. Why would they? I mean, I just feel like these people, who are they having running the show? Clearly, these are not
the
professionals. Clearly, these are people who are not knowledgeable. Clearly, these are people who don't know what real
gamers
how
want,
companies
yeah,
are run. Yeah, and gamers are doing. I mean, I just feel like there's so many. Clearly, they are not in this industry. This in the movie industry, gaming in the movie industry. It's just it's shit. Shit's coming out. Nothing good's coming out. I mean, I guess maybe some indie ones are pretty good, but
yeah. Like, there's like really the only
why are you
things
spending all this money? I don't understand why they have a production, they have a budget for a freaking reason.
these
You
games
should
don't
be
have
going
budgets. I don't
under
think.
budget. You should be going under budget, never over.
Yeah, like
I mean,
these things right here. It's like there's so many really good games coming out that are like indie. Funny enough, a lot of them are kind of horror based, but like this Lethal Company sold a like one guy made it, sold a bajillion copies. It got added to Fortnite for God's sake.
yeah,
This new game
yeah,
that came out kind of similar, Repo. I'll put it on screen. Super like 60,000 reviews on launch. Immediate success made by like one guy. You have
yeah,
Hades, beautiful game, beautiful art style.
yeah.
More indie stuff,
I've heard
Ultra
Hades is good.
Kill, and not even in the indie space. Marvel Rivals blew
Yeah,
up like
everybody
crazy.
loves that one.
M-
Like that one is hit, and people don't even like Marvel anymore, but they like the
That,
game.
that game revived a lot of comic book stores even,
Exactly. That's what I feel
and,
like it did too.
that's what a good game can really do. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
you have, and those games cost way less to make. I don't think Marvel Rivals cost. Hold up, how much did Marvel Rivals cost to make? Um, let's see. It's currently not directly stated. But it looks probably around $100 million or so, 130 million. Uh, and that's the thing is the Chinese are beating us out, man. A lot of these games that are coming out, they're all Chinese people making them, and you're like, dude, they're focusing on making good games. What is this? Like,
Yeah, I don't know, but the Chinese people aren't going to play this game.
yeah, because I mean, they're all money based. They don't care about the stuff that we're focusing on, and
No,
that leads us into uh, our final thing right here. Uh, and this is the big one. You won't believe this. Somehow,
I know this is what I want to hear most because you held this very close to your sleeve. I don't know what this is.
yes.
Go.
So Elon Musk and Hassan Abi. You can
Yeah.
talk a little bit about Hassan Abi while I pull all the tweets up real quick.
Well, I don't like him personally because I think he is creates a lot of drama. He's definitely, and I mean, politics aside, he's he definitely supports Hamas, a terrorist organization.
He brought it. He brought a confirmed terrorist onto his show at one point who has
in his
actually killed
weekend.
people.
Yes, exactly. And he says that too. He hates America, even though he's an American citizen. He lives here. He, I just can't stand him. I can't stand anything that he stands for. He's like tries to be this pretty face and then gets all these young, dumb people to follow him. But when you really listen to what he says and what he talks about, it's hate. It's just all you cannot like Israel. I can understand that. But let's just admit though, there's terrorists. Hamas is a terrorist organization, Palestinian aside, but he supports Iran, the terrorists of Iran. He supports the terrorists of Hamas. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
and
ridiculous.
and he hates America, and he's like, burn it down. I hate capitalism. As you're living in a four
$4
million
million
dollar home.
dollar
I mean,
mansion in
come
Beverly Hills.
on. It's he's a. I can't believe people follow him because he's a grifter.
Yeah,
That's what I
no,
want to
no,
say.
you're
He's a
definitely right.
total
He
grifter.
the only thing he has going for him is he's attractive and sounds sort of intelligent.
Yeah,
But
even your dad goes, "Oh, at first he sounded really
same
smart.
over
I was
here. I
listening to
agreed.
him." And then he's like, and then I started looking up what he was talking about, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, no kidding, no kidding.
Yeah, and
Pretty face only gets you so
yeah.
far in life, you
So
know.
now with that little context for those who don't know who Hassan is, also he's like the nephew of the Young Turks guy, big
Yeah,
dude.
Cirque,
Cirque, yeah, that's so any of people that know that.
and I'm not a big fan of Cirque either. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm telling
so
you, I used to like these people until you start
yeah,
actually
looking
looking
into
into
them.
what they're
But
saying, and
but
they're
yeah,
shit.
but the actual thing, I'll send this right here. So you see Hassan's like playing Assassin's Creed Shadows once more. Get in for ad here at hashtag ad buy it here. So he's getting promoted
Um,
to play the game, and then
he's getting
Grums,
paid to
yeah,
promote the game.
yeah, and then Grums, the guy I talked about
Because you know
before.
he's a socialist, Alan. How dare capitalism? How dare it?
Yeah,
He's buying a game.
here's this
He wants
strange.
people to buy a game,
Yeah,
and then I am getting paid for it, and this is his house.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
his house.
come
But I'm
on.
gonna continue real
He's a,
quick.
he is a
Is
sellout and
is
a grifter.
I'm gonna read this off real quick before we continue. You can tell a
Okay.
lot about Ubisoft with how much money they are throwing at terrorist platforming streamers. Elon Musk, Elon, yet officially Musk just then replies, "Hassan is a fraud. Sellout would be more accurate. Objectively, he is promoting a terrible
A
game
terrible
just for the
game
money."
just for money. Yeah, because he is. He is just for money. He's just for money. He couldn't care less.
And then, so let's see here. I gotta pull it up real quick. So, um, I'm scrolling through all this stuff, and so let's see here. So
So
after that,
now I bet Elon Musk is even more on the I hate Elon Musk list for people who are like Hassan. They
yes,
hate everything. I mean, let's just face it. He's a multimillionaire. He gets paid for just being there, but he hates everything about capitalism in
yeah,
America.
no,
I mean,
yeah,
make it make sense.
and so right here is so he's like like he's like, oh, you're a fraud. And, like Hassan goes on this whole rant on his stream about it, and he's like talking basically he's like, Elon is the new president of America. I'm like beefing with the secret president of America.
No, he's not though, and Elon doesn't even pretend to be. Trump is nobody's going to be under Trump. I mean, come on, Trump is kind of a narcissist. Let's face it. He's not going to let anybody tell him what to do. It's not happening.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so what this ends up going into is that so after that right there, um,
Uh-huh.
is that so Elon follows up with a tweet saying, and this is funny right here. Hasan is such a chicken shit retard that he blocked me. With a screenshot showing that Hasan has blocked. He's been blocked by Hasan Piker.
A brief message for all my haters. I like it that he does that. That's Hassan. He
Yeah,
looks so
Hasan.
gay in
Yeah,
that picture.
yeah.
He'd be thrown off the roof in Hamas.
Dude, I'll put up a screenshot right here, and I'll show you in a minute. And here's the thing too, right? I just found it. Is that it sounds like such like kid shit where he's like,
Yeah.
Hassan says this bitch literally paid someone to power level his character in PoE 2, which by the way, he's saying Path of Exile 2, but that's not the
Uh-huh.
proper uh like what's it called
Yeah, it's
acronym
not
for
how
it.
to use it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that is
It's
a
like me trying to like claim I know a game when I really don't.
yeah, basically. Lamau, what
I
do you
know.
mean I'm a fraud? Elon, I challenge you to a duel in Elden Ring. I will cook your fat rolling ass. Fat roll, by the way, is just when you wear too much armor in Elden Ring or you're too heavy, and that means your
Okay.
character rolls slower. Because Elon Musk posted his build of Elden Ring, and it was it was a weird build, definitely, but like he was winning the game.
Yeah,
Um,
he plays it all the time.
yeah, and like so he's like I'll challenge you in a I'll challenge you in Elden Ring, bro. And it's like, well, meanwhile you blocked him first of all, and then um,
But
funny,
people are so childish anymore. But go ahead.
yeah. So these guys are currently, and this is still a little ongoing and kind of because this happened just this morning, are in a spout right now, and
Uh-huh.
throwing like kind of throwing
A
hand,
spat? You- A
yeah,
spat?
a spat.
A spat. Go ahead.
Um, so anyways, yeah, and then I mean, funny enough, Asmongold's a little connected to this because Asmongold's talking about all this stuff, and
Uh-huh.
Grums is talking about that too. And Elon Musk, even though Elon Musk had a little bit of beef with Asmongold at one point, was like good for at Asmongold when he was starting to talk
Well,
about some of this stuff
yeah.
here too.
I mean, even if when Elon has beefs about anybody, if they agree, if they're on, I think Elon is just he's beefing with you about that subject. But if you're agreeing with him or doing something on another subject, so it's not
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
usually doesn't beef on the person. He usually beefs on the subject. Does that make sense?
hmm
Because look at him with Mark Zuckerberg, and now they're friends.
I mean, honestly, I think that Mark Zuckerberg is kind of just a businessman, but like, I think he would be a good person in real life to talk with.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they all are, except for I don't think the Hassan is.
No, I
I
don't
think
think
he's a.
I don't think
I think he's a tool.
I don't think Hassan is, but I think that like a lot of these other people are. But
Yeah, I think a lot of them are. They're just business people, and sometimes
yeah,
they just have to follow the rules of the game,
yeah,
and we don't always like those
that's
rules, so
about
change the rules.
that's about it. And I guess to finish it off, now news states paces, and they're going so hard into marketing are like, okay, well the game sold well. This game sold well. Actually, wait, a week later, actually the game isn't selling well. But here's why it's a good thing that it's not selling
Uh
well.
huh. Is
Eh,
that now they're trying to make up an
eh, eh,
idea?
yeah, and they're trying to get like they're starting beefing with like Elon and they're getting Hassan on. They're making their side. They're making the line in the
Yeah,
sand.
yeah.
And
And they're gonna pick Hassan. I'm glad they're picking a terrorist. I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, whatever. You
yeah.
know that's what I feel. Sorry, people. Now you know what I feel about certain people. I
No,
mean,
no. What do you mean you don't like Hassan Piker? No. Uh,
well, I
uh,
don't like him.
Mom, I was gonna get you $500 in Hassan merch for your birthday. What am I gonna do
Oh,
now? I already pre-ordered
well, give it to somebody who cares. You know,
it. Yeah, and maybe someone can give this Assassin's Creed game to someone who cares, which
yeah,
I feel like
you
is
know,
nobody.
very little. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm
very
saying.
very little. This
Very
game
little.
on every aspect is a disrespect to Japanese people, a disrespect to gamers, and overall this is going to be the biggest I think this is the final thing that kills Ubisoft's only thing. And I've been playing this game recently. I reinstalled it because some friends are like, you should play Rainbow Six Siege, made by
Oh
Ubisoft.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I've been playing that a bit recently, and they are putting so much effort into like, oh, we're gonna redo Ubisoft, we're gonna re
You're like, don't do the
or
game, Rainbow.
we're going to, because Rainbow has a lot of issues. We're gonna fix the issues the game has. We're gonna do all this stuff. Trust us, guys. We're gonna make it so much better. And you can tell. And one of my friends said, he's like, if Ubisoft thought Assassin's Creed was gonna do well, they wouldn't put so much pressure into Rainbow Six Siege, which is the only thing keeping them afloat right now.
Oh,
They wouldn't do this
yeah.
whole rework of it called Siege X. They're
I don't
making gonna make it free
understand
to
how they
play.
spend so where are they getting their money then? If they could spend that much money on
They're
that
getting
and
their
just
money from the fact they had like a ton of successful games and they've been riding that high. Basically, it's like it's the kid that gets inheritance money of like
uh, all of their
$10 million.
trust fund and
They get their trust
so
fund and then they're like burning through it for the next 5 years with like
uh-huh.
parties, and then now they're finally getting to the end of their ropes, and they realize that they're screwed. That's what Ubisoft
Yeah,
is. It's the death throes of Ubisoft. Their
yeah.
stocks have gone down today alone 5%. Since the game has released,
Jesus.
12% drop.
Yeah,
Um,
and the thing is they're such all narcissists, they can't admit they fuck up.
no,
If
they
they really look if they were honest and said, "Wow, okay, like Cyberpunk." They admitted they messed up and they
yes,
went back and
cyber,
they fixed
and
all
I
their
will say
shit and it was done.
Cyberpunk. I mean, oh my god, I pre-ordered that game and I was so excited, and it was such a huge disappointment. And then what they did is they spent the next 3 years crawling from a negative reviews, crawling back the game. They made so many mistakes. They overhyped it. They rushed it, and they were
Uh-huh.
like 3 years, 4 years of updates. They're like 2.0 Cyberpunk. Here we are, and the game Cyberpunk is one of my. I own a Cyberpunk shirt. I own like I love
Yeah, you love it.
Cyberpunk now.
Uh-huh.
Cyberpunk now,
Yeah.
but because they spent the effort, they spent the time, the dedication, and
They
they
admitted
and
that they
admitted
messed up.
they're like, yeah, guys, we messed up. We're gonna
Yeah.
spend everything we can in giving free updates. Cyberpunk was updated like a month or two ago, too. 3 months
Oh
ago, they
wow.
added a train system to the game that wasn't even like a whole subway system. You can ride the train in real time around.
See, but that's my point. It's like if
Yeah,
Ubisoft did something like that and owned up to
yeah,
their
and
shit,
then
they might it might go and they go, okay, what do you guys want us to change? And they listen to the people.
instead of
So
telling their
instead of just
customers they
saying,
suck.
I'm better than you and you guys are dumb,
Yeah, because
then there you go.
because I mean it's exactly that. Because Ubisoft CD Projekt Red was like, okay, we made some mistakes. Yeah, you guys are right. There should be a chase system. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, you're right. We rushed it. This is awful. We're gonna spend
Yeah.
3 years fixing it. And the game sold so many copies. The DLC they released almost outsold the game. Great
Oh
DLC,
wow.
Phantom Liberty, and they wouldn't have been able
Yeah.
to do that if they kept the game in the same space. So
Exactly.
they're able to come back for an old 1-2 because in movies, the Sonic movie, when you
Oh
admit your
yeah. There you
mistake,
go. That's right.
how awful
Yep.
that
That's
hedgehog
exact.
looked,
Yeah.
and
It was ugly.
you're willing to fix things. I think that more studios should be more open and be like, "Hey guys, here's some ideas that we have for games. What do you think we should make next?"
Oh
And
my
then
God, 100%.
put
100%.
out a poll. Like when God, for God's sake, it's kind of funny to say. Epic Games does that. They have surveys they send out to everyone that's a part of their subscriber list. That's like, hey, what are crossovers we should do? What do you think about this gameplay? Would you be
Yeah.
interested in these themes for us to
Like
do
you're talking about
next?
like Fortnite.
Yeah, for Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
this like what they want for seasons, what people think, and they gather user because they care. They're like, because here's the thing: is the user and the money. If you have the user's happy, you're gonna get money. People spend buckets of money on your stuff, and Ubisoft clearly they would rather call all their players racist and tell them that they suck. Meanwhile, they're sinking into the ground.
Yep.
They
They will.
talked about the tsunami, the kamikaze, like the winds of the divine winds. There's a divine wind coming upon Ubisoft right here,
Yeah.
and my hope is that Ubisoft gets bought out to like Tencent's a Chinese company, but I feel like Tencent would run it better.
Yeah.
They
Hmm.
gotta change. This is the last straw.
Well, they might have to sell them to them because if they're bleeding dry and not making admitting their mistakes, then they're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them how many months do you think until Ubisoft has to start liquidating assets or lays people off?
Oh, I would give it another month or two, if the most.
Yeah, next quarter once the next quarter
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of in a quarter. Because so this game just came out
Yep,
this week,
6 days.
right?
6 days ago, the 20th.
6 days again. So it is March. So let me see. It will probably be September.
September, yeah, I feel like
Mhm.
Ubisoft. I don't see Ubisoft surviving in whole
Not the
in
year. They
one
won't
year.
last the year. Mm-mm,
In
no,
exactly 1 year from today, I doubt that Ubisoft is gonna be
it's not going
living.
to be the Ubisoft that it is today.
Yeah, no, not at all. Because
It might
after,
be. It might be something else, but somebody might buy him out. I mean, we could be wrong, but they would really have to pull their
well,
head
the
out of their
thing
butt.
is, Skull and Bones made like $60 million and cost $850 million, and then plus $150 million advertising budget for like $1 billion. A lot of their games are falling off right now, dude. I just
I was like,
saw.
why did they spend that much? I don't get
I don't
it.
get when currently the player amount is doing. I saw 28% less than Dragon Age Veilguard, which is
Uh
another
huh.
game that like is flopping or is flopped completely.
Uh
Um,
huh.
and your game is doing not as good as Hearts of Iron, which, if you want to know what Hearts of Iron is, it's made by Paradox Interactive and is effectively a map game
Uh
uh,
huh.
made for turbo autists. If like this right here, this is what this game looks like. That is Hearts of Iron right there. It is a historical game with like maps and troops.
Yeah, your dad likes those
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, he definitely likes stuff like that. That game yeah, here's the chart right here. I'll put it up on screen. How are you? So you're telling me, and that's barely under the like how that's those are all the games above it. How is Terraria, a decade-old game, have a higher 24-hour peak than your brand new game? Hearts of Iron, a game made for practically autists, has higher. Red Dead Redemption 2 is not a cheap game. Higher, years old. Tom Clancy, higher. Elden
Oh,
Ring,
geez. Well, of course, Elden Ring's going to
of
be because a lot of people are back into Elden Ring.
yeah,
But
that
yeah,
that is true, but it's still an expensive game, and it still is like
Hearts of Iron 4, that's so funny. Oh my God, it's like four, 5 spots up.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
too
and it
high.
has like 7,000 more people. The 24-hour peak is 6,000 more people. How are
Yeah.
you telling me that game is doing? But how is EA Sports FC 25 doing 30,000 spots better than you?
They're not
No.
because they're not.
Also, remember, this is number 36 in the top list right now.
Wow. And and everybody was looking forward to that. So no, yeah, they're not going to
They're
make it.
they're they're tumbling down,
They're
and
toast.
you got to think too. Also, little
And
example here.
Hassan can go down with them too. But you know what? Doesn't matter. He got paid for it. I mean, they're just stupid giving these
Yeah,
stupid people money to pay,
if
to play these games.
I will leave off on one thing. If you want to know an example of the sales, this game's even more indie. Both single player games. Assassin's Creed Shadows has a peak of 64,000. Kingdom
Uh
Come
huh.
Deliverance 2 has a peak of 255,000.
Oh, there you go. See,
That is all you need to hear.
that's all you need to know.
Yep, and
All
that's
right.
that's about it. I think we're going to be closing up here now.
Yeah,
Longer
I
than I
think we're
thought,
close
but
to an
it's
hour.
yeah, we are an hour two.
Good time editing, Dallin.
Yeah, I'll be hey, it'll be a challenge, I suppose. But this is a juicy
Yeah.
one. This is hot
Challenge
on
accepted.
challenge
Challenge accepted.
accepted. I'm not done until we say we're done.
Awesome. That's right. All right. Sounds good to me.
But yeah, we're done.
All
Well, I'll
right.
see you guys next time. Next time we'll be covering Snow White
Yep.
and everything
And
going on there.
uh it is, you know what? Gaming in Hollywood. They're they're the shit right now. They
Gaming in
sure are.
Hollywood, and they're all connected.
Yep, they all are. All right.
All right, see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.